Yo guys, Coach Theo here on Common Sense. Today I want to tell you what life is like being a ripped person. I want to sell you on the concept, and in this video I'm not going to focus so much on the physical benefits because of course getting in good shape is healthy for you when done naturally. Of course it's healthy for you. Of course it feels great to feel strong and flexible and like you were in good touch, have good connection to your body, while at the same time not feeling heavy, fat, sluggish, having high energy, stable energy levels throughout the day, high degree of stress resilience, and so on. In this video, I'm going to focus specifically on the way the external world responds to you when you look this way. Still though, before I do that, I want to emphasize that I always tell people that pursuing building this sort of body should always come from an internal place, first and foremost. Firstly, that you have to have a bit larger perspective than just a look, a body. This holistic perspective that I always talk about, I call the method that I practice and teach others holistic bodybuilding, because the physical and working on the body is a huge aspect, but it always comes second to becoming a certain person, because there's no such thing as a look, as a body, without a person that built and resides within that body. Okay, the external is a manifestation of the internal. Okay, so I always tell people, like, the look is cool, I love the way I look, it's fun to work on yourself like a sculpture like that, but what I love most of all is the person I become, the traits you cultivate, the person you become in the pursuit of building this body, right? Secondly, I mean that I'm gonna tell you now about some pretty cool external reactions that you might experience when you get in a certain shape, but still it should come from an internal place first and foremost, as in you should be aware, realize this first thing, that hey, it's not just that I'll look a certain way, I'm gonna level up, I'll become a better version of myself in the pursuit of building that body, and also that your main motivator should not be some kind of external factor, like, oh, maybe if I get in good shape, girls will like me, I'll get more attention from girls. No, it should be like this. No, I know it will be good for me, or I think it's cool, I just like to look that way because I think that's cool, right? It should come from an internal place first and foremost. It's going to be a very different thing if your main motivation is external, but that's something we leave for another time, because I'm planning actually to do a video talking about the difference between internal and external motivation and validation. Okay. The caveat I forgot at the start, it happens when you do unscripted monologues, but obviously I'm talking specifically about my experience being ripped. Not everyone has a YouTube channel or put themselves out there publicly like that. Not everyone has a background of severe mental health issues and overcoming panic attack syndrome and transforming in that way as well. So, of course, some people's experience could differ a little, but I want to say that many of the things I'm about to tell you about, they happened way before I had any kind of social media following, and also when I was nowhere near the physical development I've reached now. I know many people in good shape that could confirm many things that I'm going to tell you, and especially if you approach it from this higher value place of not just I want to get ripped, I want to look good, but I want to actually become a better person, you'll find that a lot of the things I'm about to tell you are true for you as well. Okay, so being ripped, I'm using that term loosely to just describe a certain look when you have muscle mass on your entire body and low enough body fat to have lots of shape to your body, right? Some veins showing, some muscle striations, right? And I'm gonna tell you that when you are ripped, all kinds of people are gonna admire you. You're gonna be met with admiration from many places. And I think that it is this, that people, if not consciously, on a subconscious level, people understand this, that it is more than a look. If you're just a big guy because you like to lift heavy and eat a lot, there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. If you genuinely like that, like, go for it. Don't let me set the standard if that's genuinely something you like. But I'm just saying, if you're just a big guy or really skinny guy, it's very different to when you're big, bulky, but you have low body fat. It's like that cannot have happened just by coincidence, right? It signals discipline, structure, order, and control. These are some of the main words I use to describe what masculinity at its core is, right? So people, when they see you, they just know that that's someone that lives with intention. They have just not floated about and ended up in a certain way. They have consistently worked and built their way to where they are, right? So I'm going to tell you that here in Stockholm, Sweden, at least in everyday situations, girls are I feel like girls are like afraid of showing interest, So it is not so much that, I see girls drooling over me all over the place. You will notice it on different levels, though. Like, I'm quite outgoing. I will like talk to people in different places. And sometimes when I like, well, she was acting a bit weird, I realize sometimes that, she was probably intimidated by my look, or she might have been shy because she found me attractive. But I'll tell you, older women are more obvious with expressing like smiles and giving looks and like, that kind of attention. But I'm going to tell you, it's always mostly men. Men are very impressed by you. It's just pretty cool when you're still a fairly young guy, like I'm 32, but many times I have, men twice my age that are so obviously impressed. I feel like when they talk to me, I feel like I'm the elder here. Things that happen to me so often, like when I'm here by the outdoor gym, right? So often when I'm just here training, someone will come here and start talking to me and ask me things. And guys, I love it when younger guys that are into training, they start asking me questions, and they might see that I film something to and ask, and they get my YouTube and that. But so often I will find myself telling people about training or about myself, my story. And like recently, I've lived quite monkishly the last 7 years, but recently I've gone out of my way to be more outgoing. I've actually went to a rave, I went to a kind of a day party, and I've been in more situations like that. And let me tell you, that because I've been so little in those situations when I've had this sort of look. Okay, it's very different with girls when they're in that setting, when people are intoxicated to man. I felt like I've never felt more like a god. Like I was at this day party outside in a park. Everywhere I look, I catch someone looking at me, and that, by the way, happens all the time too. People stare at you everywhere. Obviously, when you walk around like this, but even when you're just walking in the city and you have a T-shirt, like you will see people look specifically like at your bicep vein and stuff. Like you just catch people's attention. But yeah, that was incredible. Like I always said that I'm sure, that if you get in good shape, both from a looks perspective, but also from a value perspective, that you're going to be generally more attractive to girls. You look better, and you signal this, that, I prioritize eating a good diet and exercising. But I've always felt like, well, but beyond a certain point, there's quite a lot of diminishing returns. But let me tell you, now being in these kinds of party situations a bit, I'm like, okay, it's like, okay, it's not quite true. Like, so many girls were like giggling and saying hi and coming up and wanting to talk to me. That part was new to me. So I guess I'll just tell the people that say that, all girls don't even like that kind of look. Like, you're coping, clearly. It was even more so than I thought. Getting so windy here. But yeah, another thing, I generally I love it when people come up to me and start asking about training, and I feel they are receptive, like they see that this is someone I could learn something from. I am a teacher at heart. That's why I do the YouTube channel. That was why I work as a coach, and I end up coaching people all over the place. And I both just answering questions about training and stuff, I find cool, but I like to tell my story that I always tell on the Uncommon Sense YouTube channel. I used to be skinny, fat, loser, eating this kind of guy, having all these poor habits with alcohol and junk food and partying and so on, right? And the panic attacks and getting over it. But now, when I was more outgoing in different situations, I started getting sick of how much I had to talk about myself. Me, the huge narcissist that loves to be the center of attention, getting like, really, I have to tell my story again? And this happens, you see that it happens, it's not me that wants to tell it there. It's like, they're so curious, like, where you are? I'll always end up like, okay, it started like this, And what's really cool, when I run into people I know, I love training, the lifestyle, obviously. Like, I work with it, it's like, the training is, apart from my profession, it's a huge hobby. But still, I don't see myself as just like, a bodybuilder. Like, I'm just a guy. I'm just Theo the man, also, right? But it's so clear, people associate me with this. So it happens so often. I run into someone that I know, and they ask me something like, or they might comment that I'm in good shape, or I've seen your clips. And I'm like, oh yeah, thanks. Like, how about you? How are things? And I'm just asking. Generally, like, how are you doing? Like, oh, well, I haven't had so much time now because the kids, and they feel guilty, and they assume we're talking about training. I'm like, look, like, it's fine. I'm just, how are you doing? And I get so many people that reach out to me that either, hey, I've been like, people in my life that I either know or used to know, Facebook, the social media, you have people like that. Either like, I've been following you for a while, or I went through something similar to you and I've started doing this, and they want to send a picture, show like their transformation to me, or like, after I ran into you, I was so inspired, so now I've done this and that. It's really cool. What I'm trying to tell you here is, like, you both get an experience that the world kind of you get shown proof everywhere that I am special. I know it's going to be very triggering to some people hear me say a thing like that, but the world just confirms it to you all the time. People look at you, you catch them staring at you, they reach out to you, they tell you, when you barely had an interaction with them, they tell you that you helped change their life. And so what I mean is, like, that's the beautiful thing when you're not into something just for external validation, that you're genuinely trying to do something good for you and others, but it's very enjoyable, of course, to feel like people view you as this fucking demigod, this fucking beast of a man, So you feel like, yeah, I am a fucking beast, and I'm so happy that just me existing and leading, showing this example of what is possible, it affects so many more people than you'd think, Because of course you have clients you work directly with, you have people that follow on YouTube and Instagram that comment, but when people you show up and it turns out I've been watching from behind the scenes for years, you just realize that, like, there's so many things you get immediately told that you made a difference. Just imagine all the people you influence, that don't tell you. So it's just what I'm telling you guys. It's a fucking cool experience. Like, you're gonna end up feeling great, like a fucking beast, and it's well deserved. You're not just chasing, you're not just flaunting something, you're not pretending to be something. You're genuinely working on something because you think it's the right thing to do, and you lift others up just by existing the way you are, and you get to enjoy this sort of positive external validation that it's positive. I guess I start almost going into that other video, but there's nothing wrong with enjoying external validation, but it's so different when it's the main motivator for you to do something, because then you might do things for the wrong reason. You might do things that are not in line with your actual character. You might betray yourself just because other people will like you. But when you pursue something out of value, and then you get this kind of response, it's like the double win. It's like, yeah, everything is just fucking great. You should be ripped. It's like you're missing out on so much. Like, my old self, fucking flies. That's another thing. When you're in good shape, when you're healthy, flies love you. I know they love shit too, but I've even read up on it. They like to feast on your skin when you have healthy skin. So that's okay. That's not my favorite part of the whole thing. But guys, it's really like, yeah, I cannot begin to tell you just how cool life is. And that's another thing that will trigger a lot of people to hear. But I've always wanted to be someone that feels special like that. But again, not just like everyone should just bow down to me because I'm so fucking, like, that you actually are. It's such a great life experience. And now, when I know it's available, I'm just like, I cannot choose anything else. I love this. I love the life experience I get from doing it like this. Of course, I'm on YouTube and Instagram, but this happens. I work with people that just yesterday I talked to a client that is in pretty good shape, like way above average shape, like I would say top 3% shape or something, maybe better. And he also talked about how he notices the response from the environment, and that is a really cool experience. So yeah, it's like I want to go on, because so many people fucking make excuses. Oh, I wouldn't even want to look that way anyway, or oh, I wouldn't want to waste that time. It's not a waste of time. It's like you are missing out. When this is perfectly available to you, you're missing out if you're not pursuing it. It's not just a look. It's cool. It's cool to look a certain way, but it is an expression of something bigger, especially when you pursue it from this larger perspective, this holistic perspective, this internal perspective from a higher value, okay? So please like and comment. Always interesting to hear your thoughts. You know, if you're gonna make excuses for why it's not and it's not necessary and blah, 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 like just go somewhere else. It's like, okay, you go be not ripped somewhere else. It's fine, you know. I do holistic bodybuilding coaching, getting jacked and stacked mentally, physically, spiritually, working on ourselves, body, mind, and soul, becoming that person internally that manifests this kind of physique externally, becoming a jacked and stacked individual. If you're interested, you can send me a DM on Instagram or email me. It's in the description below. I'll get back to you with my different programs and offers. You can pick up my training book, everything training, philosophy, mindset related you need in order to become a self-reliant, jacked and stacked individual. That book is more focused on the training process, but still from this internal perspective. But it is the training process, more technically focused on there. But please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, spirituality, mindset. It is a mindset, guys. Just fucking be ripped. It's a great experience. You're not gonna regret it. No one ever regretted getting ripped. Peace.